going to have a very high expectation and maybe wondering what kind of future that is waiting for Palestine and maybe in the Middle East. To talk about this, we are going to discuss with the international observer Pak Hikmahanto Juwana. Good morning, Pak Hikmahanto. Pak Hikmahanto, I believe that you haven't unmuted your mic. Yes, I cannot still.
Hello. Yes.
Finally, we can we can hear you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes.
No problem, sir. So, it seems that the peace plan by Donald Trump has been widely welcome, and this is a yes or no question, and you can add the why behind that answer. Do you see this as a positive sign for resolving the conflict in there?
Yes, I think so. Yes, it is a positive sign for Israel not to attack Gaza and for Hamas to return the hostages and also the remains that was killed. So it is a positive sign. And what I heard also this morning, our president now is on his way to Egypt, if I'm not mistaken, and he will attend the summit meeting on Gaza. This means that the deal struck by President Trump, agreed by Israel and Hamas, will go on. And from what I monitored, there are aids for the Gazans, the Palestinian in Gaza, that are coming to Gaza at the moment. And also, I'm hoping that soon Hamas will return the hostages, the Israeli hostages. So, yes, this is a good sign for peace.
And overall, how do you view Trump's 20-point peace plan proposal?
Well, the 20-point is, I think it's good because there are a lot of things that is good for Palestinians and also for the Israeli. The one thing that we know what the Israeli wants is for the hostages to be returned. And it is in the 20-point plan. And also in the plan, the Palestinians will have a transition government, and this transition government hopefully will manage the aid coming to Gaza and also the reconstruction of Gaza in this near future. The other thing that is good in this plan is within this 20-point, there is a provision on the International Stabilization Force. So ISF, it is not going to be United Nations mandated peacekeeping operation, but it is ISF. It is a forces that made up of from countries in the Middle East and including countries like Indonesia that have a population majority Islam. So I think this is what our president made a commitment in the United Nations, whereby he said that he will contribute 20,000, even more, of troops to this ISF.
And we got a question from our newsroom, sir, saying that from the 20-point proposal, Trump didn't mention the two-state solution and even point 19 states. Allow me to read it for our listener. While Gaza development advances and when the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may eventually be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. And our newsroom is asking about the mention of maybe, not must be. What can you say about this?
Well, first of all, the issue of self-determination, this will, of course, lead to the Palestinian to have an independent state, even though it is not mentioned bluntly that it is going to be a Palestinian independent state. But eventually, it will lead the self-determination to this Palestinian independence. Secondly, when you say may, of course, there are conditions. The condition is if both parties, Israel and Hamas, will observe the 20 points, especially the Palestinian. And also, of course, this has to be observed by the transition government. The transition government is very important because it will try to encourage Israeli and the Palestinian to have discussion on the issue of self-determination. And also this will depend on how the world react and also the United States. And if everyone is having a same, mind to have the Palestinian to have their independent state, then it will result that. Again, the word may, not must, is being used. So it will depend on conditions.
Okay, so it's still very conditional, and we mentioned that the president is on his way to Egypt, and Indonesia will be playing a role too in here. So how do you see that? How do you see Indonesia's role this time? What kind of role that we will play?
Well, we know for sure that Indonesia will contribute to the ISF. This has been a commitment made by our president at the United Nations. That's one. Secondly, of course, we will hopefully send aids to the people of Palestine in Gaza because they needed food, they needed water, clean water, they needed also medicine. And I hope that our government will expand hospitals that they set up in Gaza so that they can treat those who are wounded. Lastly, I hope that our president at the summit meeting in Egypt, that he will propose an Indonesian to be the head of the transitional government. Why it has to be Indonesian? Because one, we have a majority Muslim population. Secondly, Indonesia have been very active in peacemaking. And thirdly, we have a lot of competent persons, including one of them is our former Vice President, Yusuf Kala. And he has a lot of concern in the, for the Palestinian, so that he can well received by the Palestinian and also the Israeli, because they wanted to have, relations with Indonesia. They probably wants to have, Indonesian participation on this issue.
And we know recently that more and more countries are giving their recognition for the state of Palestine, and even for veto-wielding countries also did the same. How do you think this will change the landscape of discussion at the United Nations?
Well, one thing for sure, this has led the Israeli to accept the 20-point proposal by President Trump. And President Trump have mentioned to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that, he cannot fight against the world because the world, 157 recognize Palestine as an independent state. And because of, the war in Gaza, the world has seen that they cannot condone what Israel is doing. So to protect the Palestinian, a lot of European countries have now recognized Palestine as a state. Now, of course, we have to understand that even though there are 157 countries recognizing Palestine as a state, but if the Israeli will not withdraw its forces from Gaza or from the West Bank, the independent will not be there. So what we needed at this moment is for the Israeli to withdraw their forces. They need to recognize Palestine as a state as well, so that the Palestinians will have its independent state.
Thank you very much, Pak Hikmahanto, for joining us. We got what we needed. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, and you are welcome.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Listener, that is international observer Pak Hikmahanto Juwana, and a little bit summary from our talk that he proposed that an Indonesian representation should be leading the transition of Palestine, for we are from the Muslim majority country. We also have closeness with Palestine. We will be accepted by Palestine. Also, even Israeli wanted to establish a relationship with Indonesia later. And of course, while a lot of countries have been recognizing the state of Palestine, the next thing that needs to happen is that Israeli recognizing the state of Palestine. Well, listener, you can listen again to this on our YouTube channel, VOI Official.